everyone, Jason here with another Nano Coaster video. Today we're going to be assembling Mystic Timbers from Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. Mystic Timbers is a wooden coaster that goes out into the woods and then comes back, and is most known for their marketing campaign of What's in the Shed, which let down a lot of coaster enthusiasts, but it's still a really great ride. So let's jump right in and get started. The first step with any of these Nano Coasters is going to be to remove this white paper that's on the black base plate. This is a step that's frequently forgotten, but the white paper kind of looks dingy and dirty, and the black base plate looks really clean. So we'll just peel this away. The easiest way to do this is to put your fingernail underneath one of the squared off corners and then just start peeling it away. On the top of the base plate, it has the full track layout engraved into it, so it comes off in multiple pieces. But on the bottom, it should come off as just one solid piece or two pieces, just because there's not multiple pieces there. The track layout is only engraved into the top. So we'll finish peeling this away and then we'll continue with the next step. And so there we have the plain black base plate, once again with the track layout engraved into the top. The bottom you can just see where the tabs go, but no track layout there. Now if you've seen my other videos, you know that an extra step I like to add is actually to add a logo of the coaster to the base plate. Each of the Nano Coasters does come with a little metal sign there with the logo, but it's small and hard to see from a distance. Mystic Timbers actually has a really cool logo here that I've cut out on a vinyl cutter on this metallic vinyl, and I'm going to simply apply it to the base plate here in a blank space that we have. We'll press that down into place, peel away the transfer tape to reveal our Mystic Timbers logo. That's something that's included with the kit, but if it's something you're interested in, you have access to a cutter. I'll include an SVG of the Mystic Timbers logo down below that you can then cut out yourself and apply it to the kit. So the next step is going to be to get the track pieces ready. As you'll notice, this is not one of the models that you have to cut out. These track pieces are simply taped to a piece of paper or cardstock within this little plastic envelope here. So we simply just need to remove them from the sheet. A little bit easier to do than the ones that are cut out. And you'll also notice they're only on one side. This is not a very big model, it's just 4 track pieces with the station and the sign. To remove this, we'll open the envelope, and then it's easiest if you just kind of tear it away here at the seam on the edge. The reason for that is the tape in the middle that holds the track pieces in place also tends to stick to the plastic envelope, so you can't really slide it out of place. So you'll want to tear that away. And there we have our 4 track pieces with the station and the sign. To remove these, you'll simply want to come close to the tape here in the middle and just twist the pieces back and forth. May be able to do a little bit of bending the paper, but you want to be able to remove these pieces without bending them at all. So we'll get this one off and lay that off to the side. Move on to the second piece and the third piece and the fourth piece. We'll also remove the station. So there we have all the pieces removed. Now if you've seen my models where you have to cut them out, you'll notice this is a lot faster than that. However, CoasterDynamix found that manufacturing them this way was more expensive than the cutout method, and so to keep the prices down for consumers, they switched back to the cutout method. So from what I've seen from Kings Island, all the ones I purchased except for Orion were stuck to a piece of paper. Orion required it to be cut out. Most of the Nano Coasters you have to cut out, but the ones you don't have to cut out are definitely a lot easier to do. So now that we've done that, let's jump into track assembly. I have the 4 pieces laid out here. Now the first track piece we're going to install is going to be this piece right here with the little hill there at the end, down into the final brake run here. This piece is going to span most of the length of the base plate here. So we'll actually start down here at the narrow end. There's 2 little holes next to each other. We're going to start with the second one. We'll leave the one next to it open for the other track piece. Into this long tab directly beneath the hill. And then we'll start bending the track around this turn. Once again, the entire track layout is engraved into the base plate, so that makes adding these pretty simple. We'll turn it back the other way to get to this next long tab. Drop that one into place, and then this second long tab, and then we'll bend it again where the final brake run is, and that piece simply drops into place. We'll bend over these tabs here on the bottom to hold it, And where you have two pieces of track that run next to each other, you want to make sure you bend the tabs away from the secondary hole. That's not a problem on a lot of nano coasters, however, it has been a problem on a few that I've assembled. And this one looks like it has the tracks that run next to each other. We can also come back here on the top now and shape these turns just a little bit, make sure they line up right with the track layout on the base plate. So there we have our first piece of track, a very short piece of track, but it's starting to come together. The second piece is actually going to be the lift hill and the first drop. So we're actually going to continue right where we left off here with the brake run and put the next tab into place. And then we'll bend around this corner here to put the station piece into place. And then we'll come around a little bit further and do the first lift hill. So we do got to do a little bit of track bending there, but it's coming together. And then the first drop is actually going to curve around. If you look at the base plate there, the first drop is not straight. It's going to bend around. So we're going to bend the track as close as we can just to get these tabs first lined up and drop them into place. And then we'll bend them over on the bottom just to get them shaped properly. And then we have to do a little bit of track shaping here with our fingers just to get it to line up. When you just kind of use the base plate to shape it, you get about 90% of where you need to go, but you have to do just a little bit with your fingers just to finish the shaping and get it perfect so that it looks just right. We'll get this first drop lined up perfectly. And so there's our second piece of track. The third piece of track is going to be this piece here, and it's going to continue right where we left off, and it's actually going to jump right over the lift hill. So you notice there's a slit here in this first hill. So continuing from where we left off there, we'll drop the first tab into place, and then that slit, as we bend the track, has to go right over the lift hill. And then we'll drop the next tab down into place, and then continue following the track layout around on the base plate. And keep going. Just lining up each of the tabs and dropping them into place. As I mentioned, this coaster goes out into the woods and then comes back to the station, so that's why it's kind of a long drawn out layout. Not quite as much as the Voyage, but still a cool layout that goes out and comes back. Once we have that in place, once again we'll bend over these tabs on the bottom to hold it. And then we'll do a little bit of bending here, especially around the part that goes over the lift hill, just to make sure it's not kinked so that it has the proper rounding as it makes that turn. So there's our progress right there. And then the final piece is going to continue right from there. It's going to be this piece here. We'll continue right where we left off and drop this medium tab into place. And kind of bend it over the piece of track that's already there and drop this small tab into place. And then continue following these bends on the base plate to put the tabs in place. And then bend over the tabs on the bottom to hold it. And then make sure the track is shaped just right. This one has a few places that it actually bends back and forth. So we're going to make sure we get that right there. And so there we have the completed track layout of Mystic Timbers. Now the final step is going to have us install the sign and the station building. So the kit is supposed to come with 2 station buildings. As I mentioned earlier, this coaster is known for their What's in the Shed campaign. So at the end of the ride, you pull into a shed where you watch a little show, and then you move on into the station. There's actually cutouts on the base plate right here for the shed on the final brake run, as well as for the main station building. However, only 1 station building was included in the kit. When there are problems with your models, what you have to do is just reach out to CoasterDynamix. Their email address is info@CoasterDynamix.com. It's actually right on the back of the box. So if you have any problems, you don't reach out to Kings Island or anything. You reach out to CoasterDynamix. They've always been very good to me to make things right. I had another model that was missing a station one time. They mailed one to me. So you want to do that. So for now, I only have 1 station on there, but there should be a second one. And so I got to look into getting that. Possibly the easiest nano coaster I've ever assembled. That's Mystic Timbers at Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that one of the last things I like to do is to add a felt bottom to the model. So this is a piece of felt that I've purchased from Amazon, has an adhesive back built in. The nice thing with the felt bottom is you'll notice on the bottom there's all these tabs that can bend easily or scratch up a surface if the Nano Coaster slides around. So the felt really covers that up. So Mystic Timbers actually has a fairly long straight edge here. And so I'm going to line up the Nano Coaster with one of the edges of the felt so that I don't have to do near as much cutting. And then we'll trace around the rest of it here with the pencil to get the layout transferred to the felt. Now once we have it transferred, I'll just come with my scissors and cut just inside the pencil. In the end, you want the felt to be just a little bit smaller than the model. You don't want it to go hanging over the edge. So we're going to cut just inside the pencil markings here. As you can see, you can typically get 2 Nano Coasters out of each piece of felt as well. So it goes a long way. I'll put that off to the side for a future project. But there we have our piece of felt cut out, 2 Mystic Timbers. To apply this, we'll actually start with the smaller end here and peel away a little bit of this paper backing, exposing the adhesive that's built into the felt. Once we've peeled that away, we can just simply tear it, and then we'll line up our Nano Coaster to cover up the entire felt, and then press down here on the adhesive end. Once you have that end adhered, you can peel away the rest of the backing, and then we'll use the table edge here to help us attach it to the Nano Coaster. I'll hold it with my hand underneath to line it up and try to get this to go just completely underneath the model. We'll just kind of slide that there. And now we have a felt bottom on the Mystic Timbers Nano Coaster so that we can slide it around. It's not going to make any scratches on the surface. There's a little bit of felt hanging over the edge there. I can just simply take my scissors here and cut that away. And there is the completed Mystic Timbers Nano Coaster. Once again, from Kings Island in Mason, Ohio, available from the park for about $35, or from the Kings Island shop online. I'll have a link to that down below. I'll also have a link to download the Mystic Timbers logo as an SVG and to purchase the felt that I put here on the bottom. Also, like I said, if your model happens to be missing the second station, make sure you shoot an email to info@CoasterDynamix.com. They should be able to get that to you so you can complete your model, have it look fully completed. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, that's okay as well. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below as well. And thank you for watching, and have a great day.